Hey, grade 7s, we're going to do 9.1 today, naming integers. We're going to look at determining what are positive and negative integers and what they actually are to begin with, and what do they represent. And we're also going to discover the place value of positive and negative integers. To begin with, let's take a little warm up. The big question is, what is an integer? You may have heard of it before, but basically, integers are any positive and negative whole numbers. So, for example, you look at a number line, and it can be represented on a number line. The number right there is a positive 2. And I know it's a positive because it is to the right of the 0. And if we go back here for a second, it said the second question is, what are opposite integers? So positive 2 is 2 bumps to the right of the 0. The opposite of positive 2, or opposite integer, is just 2 bumps to the left of 0. So negative 2 and positive 2 are opposite integers. So you try it yourself. You've got positive 8 way over here, and it's 8 bumps to the right of 0. So the opposite integer to this would be negative 8 because it's 8 bumps to the left. Football. So we use integers in football. We use integers all the time actually. And let's say you're at the 20 and you start and you right at the very on the opening, the down 1, and you make this stellar pass and you go all the way to the 30. Well, that's a gain of how many yards? So you gain 10 yards, 20 yards, 30 yards, 40 yards, 50 yards. That's a gain of plus 50. Even though the numbers look very different, you're starting at a 20 and you end up at a 30, it's because you passed the halfway line of the football field. The thing is though, in football you can also lose yards. So second down, you're about to make a pass, you back up to the 40, and just about when you're about to make the pass, some crushing nose tackle comes in and smokes you. You've actually lost yards. In that case, you lost 10 yards, and your team is very upset with you. So you've got adding yards or yards gained, and you've got yards lost. So adding yards is positive, and losing yards is negative. Temperature. If you look at back at the number line, a number line turned vertical is a thermometer. That's all it is. And so we have above freezing is positive integers and below freezing is negative integers. And it's just a convention, right? So in the middle of winter, sometimes it's negative 30. It can be as cold as that. And in the summertime, we can get up to plus 30. Money, obviously, it's a big one. When you add money to your account, you're adding positive integers. And when you make a deposit, when you take away money you're withdrawing, you're getting negative integers. And then if you've got only negative in your bank account, let's say you had 20 bucks and you write a check for $100. Well, that $100 is going to wipe out your 20 and they're going to have negative 80, and that will be your debt. That's how much you owe the bank, and they're going to come collecting it, I'm sure. So what does it have to do with the sea? Let's say you're sailing a beautiful day and you're at sea level, meaning that you're floating at sea level. That's a good thing, right? And that's a positive integers. We here in Ontario are slightly above sea level. We're actually not at sea level. If you drew a line from where we live straight to the ocean, we'd actually be a couple hundred, 300 meters or so above sea level. And the thing is, if your boat starts to sink, sorry, I'm just gonna move this thing. There you go. If it starts to sink, you actually go below sea level. And let's say you're doing some topography, or you're looking at maps of the ocean. You're talking about negative integers actually, because anything below sea level is a negative. It can go a negative 100 meters down. You can go much further than that. You can go kilometers down. So let's try it. So here's a bunch of phrases on the left, and there's some integers, positive and negative whole numbers on the right-hand side, and you have to match them. So you got to look for the key words. For example, the first one, a gain of 3 pounds. A gain is like a plus, like you're adding something. So that's going to be this one right down there. So pause the video and try it yourself. All right, so a loss of 3 yards, that one should be pretty clear. You've lost something, which is pretty negative. A withdrawal of $15. Withdrawal also means a negative. 15 feet above sea level. Whenever we're talking about sea level with integers, above is a positive integer and below is, oh my god, it's not here anymore. -6. And then finally, a deposit of $6. So if you've got $0 in your account and you do a deposit of $6, you got +6.